Hey guys, welcome to another Mastermind Content Archetypes Explained series, and in this episode I'm going to be discussing the Lover Archetype. An important energy to understand because it controls our relationships, not just our personal, professional and intimate relationships with people, but also the general relationship that we have with the external world. Things such as food, drink, money, entertainment, merchandise and all this other myriad of distractions that we have in the external world. But this energy goes even deeper than that, because in essence the lover is the binding principle which cultivates attachments. Now when you work with this energy, you need to think of it as a binding quality which determines what the ego associates with and becomes attached to. And the lover is all about attachments and also letting go of attachments, giving up habits and addictions, things that you don't really need in your life but you've convinced yourself that you do, which not only includes addictions and destructive habits but also false truths, limiting beliefs and bad attitudes that disrupt your relationships and the peace within an environment. For example, if you eat comfort food when you're stressed, or you're addicted to drugs or alcohol, even addictions to like gambling, shopping, obsessive activities such as scrolling through Facebook, things that you do to avoid feeling restless or boredom or just the discomfort that you have sitting with yourself. These are all signs of a wounded lover that is not developed. So essentially, destructive attachments are something that the wounded lover clings to, believing that they are a source of comfort, but in actual fact they are an unreliable source of comfort. They are false comforts that reflect the inconsistent bonding patterns of the nurturing figure in your formative years. They are unreliable sources of comfort, just as your nurturing figure, which is usually the mother but can also be an aunt or a grandmother or an elder sister, they become an unreliable source of comfort. Now when a child is not given nurturing and emotional stability we need to be well adapted adults, we develop a lack of self-trust, anxiety and insecurity. And that's what's reflected in bad habits, destructive attitudes and tumultuous relationships. It's trying to show us that we have an underlying insecurity and anxiety that needs addressing. Now when the energy of the lover archetype is well developed, on the other hand, you have a healthy relationship with your environment and with other people. So for example, you eat healthy food, you watch entertainment that is fulfilling, things like theatre or art rather than reality TV that doesn't really stimulate any depth of conscious awareness. You also have charisma and magnetism, which is a superpower of the lover archetype. These qualities help you to make connections with people easily, and you are able to bond and nurture meaningful relationships with other people and with the world around you. And this is a critically important role of the lover, because we need meaningful bonds to nurture emotional well-being, to feel loved and to feel secure. People who have meaningful bonds will offer you support and comfort. So when you demonstrate the higher traits of the lover archetype, you act from a love-based centre and have healthy attachments, loving relationships, fun and friendship, sensible lifestyle choices. You can control your impulses and enjoy everything in moderation. You don't have to deny yourself anything because you're in control of what you give to yourself without it being destructive. The lover therefore helps you to achieve the goals in life that essentially everybody wants: happiness and fulfillment. So when developed, you are imbued with self-love, you accept yourself and others, and you recognise the purpose and meaning of everything in your life. But not only that, when it's in its fullness, the Lover archetype is highly sensitive to energy and is interconnected with morphic resonance, the universal consciousness, which is channeled into your personal unconscious as intuition. And this is another way for you to measure where you are on the spectrum of the Lover, to determine if this energy is balanced or one-sided. So it's one-sided if all your attention is and energy is spent outwards and dictated by external objects, but it's balanced if you also allow yourself to be self-guided and trust your instincts. So as I've said before, the Lover experiences the world through the 5 senses. Now, it's the 5 senses that become attached to external objects that provide stimulation. And this is what Jung called the sensation function, which is in opposition to the intuitive function, your intuition and instincts. Thus, sensation is an external trust. You trust it to provide you with comfort and reprieve from pain, whereas intuition is an internal trust. You trust your instincts and your intuition to take a certain action. Now, the wounded Lover does not trust the intuition, which is the inner mother, which is why you develop unhealthy and destructive attachments with the outside world to provide that comfort and reprieve from pain. So when the Lover is developed, you are endowed with self-awareness and a level of maturity that enables you to take everything you love in moderation, because you recognize that it is the best thing for your mental health, your physical health, and your general well-being, but also the health of your interpersonal relationships. But when this energy is underdeveloped, you are a slave to your addictions and you're prone to childish behaviour. Your attachments are greed, gluttony, lust, and your relationships are superficial, shallow and unfulfilling. You will see the wounded Lover in yourself and in others if you are arrogant, jealous, manipulative, promiscuous, self-centered, hyperactive and narcissistic. Yeah, I appreciate this video may be a little hard-hitting for you, but I do think it's important to speak about the more negative aspects of the Lover, because it is needed in our world today. There's so many wounded lovers out there, myself included. And because of that, it's disrupting the connections that we are having with each other. You can see with the political circus and these woke movements that are separating and dividing us, they're all acting from a fear-based centre, and it's fueling fear, hate and opposition. So we need to get in touch with our inner mother, ourselves, develop self-love and self-trust, and build healthy connections with each other, because this is the only way that we can improve the world that we're living in. So if we can all be honest with ourselves and learn to live from a love-based centre by integrating the Lover archetype, the world will be a better place to live. And I admit I am in the process of developing my own Lover archetype, which I speak about more in part 2 of this series, so tune in for that and share your wisdom as well. I'm Richard Oldale and this is Mastermind Content. I'll see you next time.